Women's sport is an ever-growing industry, both with participation as well as viewership. This year, a WSD Visibility report shows females in the UK made up 44% of the Euro 2025 audience and 43% of the Rugby World Cup audience, which was records for each tournament. And this figure rose to 48% and 47% for the respective finals. 4.6 million viewers turned into live coverage for the Rugby World Cup, which sold out Twickenham in person. The WNBA led TikTok with 131 million views globally. The UEFA Women's Champions League saw a 92% increase in Facebook engagement, securing the top spot for that platform. In the UK, the Barclays Women's Super League led the way for domestic women's leagues, driving 56 million TikTok views, 20 million YouTube views, and 6 million Instagram engagements. The Women's Super League clubs also saw a 154% increase year-on-year rise in TikTok views, overtaking Championship clubs to become the second most viewed domestic league on TikTok in England, behind the Premier League. They are also the second highest domestic league for Instagram engagements with 154 million. In this video, I'll be doing a dive into the growth of women in sport, including interviews with local clubs, PE teachers, as well as women taking part in sport within different age groups. Who am I here with today?
Miss Gander.
Alright, so what sport do you play?
I play rugby union.
Alright, so do you think in previous years that rugby was considered a male-dominated sport?
Yeah, it definitely was. I've played since I was 8, so I've played for many, many, many years. And I've seen the difference between me and my sister starting up a girls' team at the local club that had every team except for a girls' team. And I've played ever since then. And sort of now I'm watching, you get to go and watch England play at Twickenham, which when I was younger wasn't a thing. So we're slowly getting there, but it definitely was a few years back a male-dominated sport.
Have you ever been to a women's rugby game?
Yeah, I've been to many. So I've been back when they used to play in like little stadiums, and you'd only get a few hundred people there, to being at Twickenham at a final where it's full and you've got your new world record capacity for a women's rugby match.
So how big do you think the increase in women role models such as Ellie Dunn and the rest of the team has been to women participating in rugby or just taking it in?
I think that it's everything. That's what the difference has been. Like there's always been women's rugby, but it's just what are kids looking up to, or what are young girls looking up to for them to want to be there. And your role models like those that we see now, little girls will look up to them and be like, I look like her, I've got the same curly hair as her, I want to be like this. Little stuff like that you get the buy-in for. And obviously now they've worked with Barbie and stuff like that, they've got Barbie dolls that you can buy that look like the female rugby players, and that's the inspiration, that's what's bringing them through.
Right, so would you say you've ever faced any discrimination while playing sports, especially rugby where it was such a male-dominated sport, just because you're a girl?
Yeah, absolutely. I obviously, being a PE teacher now, always knew that I was a sporty person. It's just more, what sport is yours? And I found it really, really hard through school because there was never a girls' rugby team, and I was always told, oh, there's no one's really interested in it, or no teachers are going to want to do this and things like that. So I had to really, really fight for myself to be able to set it up, and I'm so glad I did because it made me the person I am today. But you definitely get some backlash from it. I mean, boys were horrible, other girls were horrible. You also, it's just the little questions of, oh, do you actually play contacts in girls rugby? And, oh, is it, and things like that. And it is that worlds behind. And I did get picked on when I was at school as well for it because of the stereotypes and connotations that come with it. But yeah, it is getting better, but it wasn't great growing up.
So you mentioned you were the PE teacher. Do you think you've seen more participation by girls in the recent years compared to like when you was growing up or even just a few years back?
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I was in school, there's always your stereotypical excuses for girls to not do PE, and they'd get away with it. And you had your sporty few, or you a lot of the time had your netballers, and the teachers loved the netball players, and any other sport was a little bit redundant. Whereas now, I think one of the fastest growing sports I've seen is female football, for example, which is amazing. And all the girls want to play football. We're doing football fixtures. It's growing, and that is my dream for rugby to do the same thing, for that to start to pick up. And all it takes is, obviously we had the Lionesses win the World Cup, and then female football sort of flourish, and I want the same to happen to
Do you
rugby.
think that could happen?
I think so. I think with the right people in it and with the right amount of passion, it absolutely will.
Now, in one word or phrase, what do you think about women's sport growing?
I think I'm going to go back to flourishing. I think flourishing.
Right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So, hello, who am I here with today and what year are you in?
Isabel Mansfield, and I'm in year 12.
So, what sport do you play and how long have you played it?
I've played 2 sports. I've played netball for most of my life, for about maybe 10 years, and I've done boxing for the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah? So, do you believe that there are girls' sports and boys' sports? And if so, what sports would you associate with each gender?
I do think there are girls' sports and boys' sports. As much as people don't want to admit it, there are. Like in schools, football and basketball are mainly boys' sports. As much as girls do want to play it, it's almost like a fun sport for them, and you don't get many boys playing netball at all. Like, it's just in schools, that's the way it is.
So, following on from that question, would you say that there's a change in what boys' sport is? Like, I would say 10 years ago, rugby and football would be boys' sports, but now you got Women's World Cup winners in rugby and you've got the Euros back to back for football. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it has changed, but not as much as maybe people hope it to. I actually think there's always going to be those boys' sports and girls' sports, as much as people don't want to admit it, because it just is what it is. Like, boys want to play football more than girls, and it's just the way it is.
It's an interesting point. So, do you believe that you have received equal sporting opportunities compared to boys at your time during school?
Personally, I do, because I've always put myself forward for things. I've always pushed for what I want to do. Like, if I want to do a sport, then I'll do it. Like, I've done football in school, I've done rugby, I've done cricket, and I'd personally say they're mainly boys' sports. But because I've wanted to do them and there's been that opportunity, I have done them. So I personally think it has been quite equal.
Okay, and would you say you've had the same or equal opportunities throughout the whole year from like year 7 and 11, or do you think you had more opportunities, say, in the late years, like 11 or 10?
I'd say it was more year 7 and 8, because it's all so new, everyone's so new with each other, that you just put yourself forward for anything and everything, whereas when you get to the later years, you kind of get comfortable in what you know.
Right, that's interesting. I want to ask you a question about your boxing as well quickly. So you said you do boxing, yeah?
Yeah.
So have you ever faced any like sexism, misogyny, or any like, oh, you do boxing even though you're a girl, any kind of that?
Yeah. It's not loads, but it's just the small things, like, oh, like, you don't look like you do boxing, you look like you do something like dancing. And when I first joined, no one really spoke to me. I was the only girl in classes, so I did feel quite exiled. But then if that's what you want to do, you have to put yourself out there, you have to talk to people, and you have to not make yourself known, but you have to in a way. But yeah, I'd say I was a bit of an outsider.
So do you think people, when they come to see you boxing, do you think they're there for your look? Do you think people are taking women's sport for looks of the athletes or more of their performance?
I'd say more performance, because in boxing a lot of it is there's loads of fights that happen in one night. It's not just one, so there's loads of people that gather for the whole show, so it's not just like individual people they look out for. But I'd say it was more on skill, because boxing's not the most glamorous sport. You can't really look good doing boxing. You wear headgear and a mouth guard, like, you can't really look good in it.
Much about that. One last question. In one word or phrase, what do you think about the growth of women's sport?
I'd probably say progressive.
That's good. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Your name for the camera and what your role is.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Willett. I'm the sixth form support officer at St Clair's Secondary School.
And so, what sport do you play?
I currently play netball and I also play tennis.
So when did you start playing these sports?
Okay, I've played netball all my life, probably from about the age of 4 or 5. And tennis I took up probably about 8 years ago.
So what made you start playing tennis?
Okay, I started playing tennis because I'm a mum and I have 3 sons who are very sporty, who all play tennis, and I used to go and watch them. And one day I was asked to join in, and I did, and I enjoyed it. I met lots of women like me, and I now play socially every Sunday.
So would you say your family is a big influence in your role in sport?
100%. My mum was a huge influence on me for sport. My mum's very sporty. She played netball. She ran for the local running club. Growing up with 2 brothers who were obsessed with football. My dad loved sport as well. So yeah, my family's a huge influence on me when it comes to sport.
And so would you say you take in more women's sport from the media now compared to, say, 10, 15 years ago?
100%. I mean, women's sport was never on the TV. I think apart from big events like the Olympics or the Commonwealth Games, being a massive netball fan, it's fantastic to see it now. The franchise is now being bought by Sky Sports, so netball is on Sky Sports all the time. I also love tennis, and there is a channel now dedicated to tennis on Sky Sports, which I'm watching all the time. And it is fantastic to see women that, you know, our female football team who have done so well the last 2 Euros on the trot. Yeah, brilliant, love it.
So, a follow-up question. Do you go and actively pursue watching women's sport in person, or just sport in general in person?
I just like sport in general, but if I had a choice between watching, honestly, if I had a choice between watching women's tennis and men's tennis, I'd say it's probably 50-50, depending on who was playing. Football, I'm a huge football fan. Having 3 sons, I have no choice really. Football, I would probably go the men's game over the women's game, purely because it's what I've grown up with. But if I did see women, I would always follow the international women's team, and occasionally I'll watch female football.
Thank you. And so, last question. In one word or phrase, what do you think about the growth in women's sport?
Fantastic.
Thank you. Right, so you're here today.
Pitsy Town.
Right, and how long have you all played football for?
3 years.
3 years.
17 years.
33 years.
Woof.
So, of course, do you know there's a growth in the sport across all sports? What do you think is a big reason for this?
The growth of women's football,
Yeah.
or all sport. I think majority of the women's players that have played before us generation have made it better for
Do you feel
younger
like role
generation.
model players?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the it's more accessible, which that's something that's definitely helped as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In like schools as well.
Yeah. Yeah. For little girls. Yeah.
Do you think girls get equal opportunities now, or more compared to previous years?
Definitely more 100% now. more. Yeah.
It's still growing.
Do you have any experiences when you was younger where you was like denied sport opportunity just because you were a woman?
When I was younger, I had to play for a boys' team because there wasn't any girls'
There was
teams
no
around.
girls teams. We wasn't allowed to play at school at all, girls, because I'm really old.
Finish it off. What was you gonna say?
No. Sorry.
Finish it off. Can you describe what you think about the growth in the sport in one word or phrase?
Amazing.
Accelerating.
Yeah.
Thrilling.
Getting there.
Inspirational.
Growing.
It's growing.